What is queer theory? Queer theory is the study of the texts and discourses that pertain to LGBTQ+ lives and experiences. Some major theorists were Eve Sedgwick, whose major interventions was defining queer as possibly any deviation from the norm rather than constrained by a specific gender identity or sexuality. And she thought that the impulse to use queer in an I statement to say, I am queer, is what made someone queer. Judith Butler is another major queer theorist who argued that gender is not innate, it's not determined by society, and it's not determined by sex, and that actually our understanding of sex is a gendered concept. Some of the major tenets and questions of the theory are common sense assumptions about sex, gender, and sexuality universally true? How do they differ by society and culture? How are they determined by society and culture, and what determines them? Is it religion? Is it economics? How have queer experiences been portrayed, and what do these portrayals say about queer experiences? How have those portrayals been interpreted in society, and what do those interpretations and reactions say about homophobic rhetoric or people's understanding of queer people? And how can this be seen not only in literature, but also in our understanding of biology, political science, and more? A brief review of some divergent schools of thought within queer theory. Some theorists, like Eve Sedgwick, believe that representation of queer people in media and literature is very important, while other theorists, like Judith Butler, are more skeptical about these representations and how representations and identity determine and constitute our understanding of queer people, and how it constitutes us as subjects. Other disagreements are on about if labels matter, if the act of coming out is empowering, or if it just affirms that queer people are not the norm. Queer theory has been applied to literary text and lived realities in many ways, one of which is the Gender Accelerist Manifesto, which is a piece of queer Marxist theory. It sort of builds off a base of a lot of queer theory that assumes gender is not innate, it's determined by society. The Gender Accelerist Manifesto says that in a capitalist society, gender exists to reinforce capitalism. It says that violence with poverty, violence against women, gay, and trans people all sort of work together with one another and support each other. So, in order to defy the oppressions of capitalism, you've got to define gender.